civics lesson over and over again from different angles. They don't ask no new questions.
And you know what? I will say this, brother, about Grand Sheik. He's so multifaceted, even when it comes to that kind of knowledge. But you said to me, Grand Sheik, I could share this stuff, but basically that's not what they
has always been everybody doing their own thing with no structure in place in order to exercise the power. So this is about tying these things together so we can exercise a more effective use of power. We have various individuals who have done great works in an individual capacity, and they've reached what you call the pinnacle, the top point, the apex of their effectiveness as the individual. So now, what do we need to do? We need to pool our resources. Everybody else on this planet who has held power by having a resource pool for their available connecting parts. So we can take, for example, when you see the Middle Eastern people, Arabs and Chaldeans, come to America, and they get told that if you want to get rich in America, set up your shop in the African community. They are so divided amongst themselves that if you have a store next door to one of their own, that they will go to your store and close their own down to support you because you don't look like them. Well, that shit over with. So now, when they get over here, you see 5 or 6 of them are moving to one house. They don't argue about it. They don't fight about it. They don't bicker about being in one house on top of each other. It might be a 1-bedroom apartment. It don't matter. The oldest one come over with they call the senior ranking. That means that his business get opened first. Now, we all know about Borden's milk dairy. What we don't know is that the guy that owns Borden Milk and Dairy is from the Middle East. And everybody that comes from over there with a plan, because they have to have a business plan, and he will finance the business. He will give them upstart money and set businesses up for them, and then they have to buy the business from him. And this is why you see them being so prosperous, because they have pooled resources. You look at the Asians. They come over, they set the hair shops up in our communities. Like we don't do hair. Now, the irony of that is that the African invented the wig, the weave, the cornrow braids, the dreadlocks, all hairstyles that we complain about as so-called conscious Negroes, ego woke ass, diet woke motherfuckers. So all of those hairstyles we complaining about that sister wearing, she can't be conscious wearing a weave. Egyptians wore weaves and wigs. We say that because she got perms, straighten her hair out, she can't be conscious of who she is. Or else she wouldn't be putting perm in her hair, because that means she want to be white. The irony of it is we was using straightening techniques on the motherland in order to make the hair easier to braid. We would use mud, red clay, all kinds of things to put the hair in a condition that makes it easier to get a good clean braid. These things has been turned into pariahs of awareness. And what I mean by that is they use all that bullshit to tell you that somebody's asleep. I went curled in my head right goddamn now. Ain't nobody about to tell me to convince these people that this oppression ain't real, that this subjugation they feel ain't real. That's just not gonna work on me. And it don't matter what the hairstyle I wear will go between these ears is what really matter. Everything we can use to be divided or can be used against us to divide us has been used. They done divided us by hairstyles, by hat directions. They divided us by so many different senseless mechanisms of division. The more we are aware of what causes the division, the more we become aware not to participate in it. Now, here go the crazy part. The European in the Europeans community complains about overt racism and subtle racism more than the so-called African American, indigenous, woolly-haired native to this land. They don't complain about it. They don't discuss solutions to overcome it in our community. But while we are thinking that all Europeans who benefit from the white privilege is our enemy, they trying to figure out how to stop the racism because they don't like it either. See, you have to be a miserable motherfucker to want to oppress somebody. It's just as miserable to be the oppressor if you got a good heart as it is to be oppressed. The same amount of misery apply. You can't see for the life of you how one person can hold this other person down like this. It's fucked up. Now, the reason I know this is because I've been around white people my whole life listening, and they talk freely as if I'm not even around. And sometimes I walk in on the conversations out the blue. It's a blue large flip. So I walk in on these conversations while they trying to figure out solutions to the race issue. And it hurt their feelings that they classified with the race hate mongers with the money. And they don't feel that way. We so blind down here at the bottom, we take anybody who look like the oppressor as the oppressor, no matter how oppressed they are. We got people in our community that don't accept people because they are of a lighter complexion. Oh, she ain't black, she mixed. So fucking what? She gonna get the same nigga treatment you gonna get when y'all go to somewhere where they don't allow the niggas. It's just that simple. Then there's got some that could pass for white if they chose to, but they be like, fuck that shit. I ain't no motherfucking European. I'm a nigga. But you don't look like one. But we don't know our history. So we don't understand what really happened. We just take what they tell us in school, in that mental thinking detox program called school. We take that shit as the holy gospel. And that's the shit they're using to put your mind to sleep. If they can keep you asleep mentally, they can motherfucking control you indefinitely until you wake up. Once you wake up, this becomes a problem. The problem comes is not so much that you're going to tear shit up. It's so easy to overcome the enemy. Do a couple more invites here. It's so easy to overcome the enemy when you realize all you have to do is pool your resources, fuck with your own, and those who feel like you, and those who support you. Ones who don't, ignore them. They'll go away. You ever had somebody knocking on your door and they beating on your door, and you don't want to answer, so you don't answer, and they eventually what they do? Motherfucker go away. So Elijah Muhammad said, be your own, accept your own, be yourself. But somebody had to come and bridge the gap, had to find the weak links, had to find out what's what is going on with all of this stuff that's in front of us. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense. I'm looking at what they calling in the white community, poor white trash, getting treated just the same as the Negroes do. And this don't make sense to me. They got white privilege. Why the fuck would they be treating them like shit? It doesn't make sense to me. It's got to be something they're not telling us playing in the background. They got to have another plan somewhere else at play in order to treat the so-called poor white trash the same as they treat the niggas. But we get so caught up on we the only ones catching hell that we not understanding that reservation, they not giving them no finance. They keeping them restricted to the reservation, so now they can't get free. You know? Is that somebody trying to chime in? Wow. It gave me the opportunity to invite somebody in for the first time in a while. Anyway, so let's look at our resources. Where are they at and how do we pull them together? Who got what? All right, now, we talked about those fake woke, ego woke Negroes. We talked about them already. We talked about the ones that piecemeal your history back to you, and they don't want to give it all to you because if they put it in one book, they couldn't continuously suck your money out your pocket. So this is the method. All right. When you see one of them brothers propagating, doing their seminars, setting up their programs and whatnot, the question is, are you going to tie into the vine? What do I mean by that? Well, the vine that you tie into on the family tree is what it's called. It's the main line. Are you going to tie into the main family unit, or are you going to stay on the ground as a decaying leaf in a broken branch waiting to be cleaned up with the waste product? That's the option. You have structures in place that serves greatly when they brought into unison. You have ASCAC, which is an academic historical research team of our history. You have Nation of Islam, which have a paramilitary style training regimen for their women and men. And they have a structure and they have a security force. So that's already in place. The Nuwabians have a language that takes us back to our original language, that ties us back into the vine, takes us home. The Moors got the keys to the kingdom that we wrestled out of the hand of the Zionist Moor imposter conquistadors, those Tudor royal families that was hiding behind those European royal families that they fabricated to sit in their seat so they can keep us in poverty forever, like we wasn't gonna never figure this bullshit out. Well, it's figured out. Okay, now we have teams of foot soldiers that was trained by nature herself. What do I mean by that? Remember, everything used against you will be used for your liberation. So they divided us up and they called us gangbangers and gang members. Well, we got the Bloods, which is the brothers looking out on death. Been with war with the Community Revolution in Progress, the Crips. Just don't make sense to me. So this is what we do with them. The Bloods and the Crips fuck the brain up of this nation when we walking together integrated. The psychological impact on the community is, holy shit, what the fuck going on? All right, now, you need organizers. Who's already trained to organize? Well, we see the best organizational structures coming out of the Nation of Islam. And this is the job of the women, to organize. So this is an MGT pursuit. So if the women know how to organize in the nation, now they have to link with the women that know how to heal. And that's why you link them to the woman's glow up community, because she already doing the work. And she knows how to help the sisters heal each other. And that in turn will give us the best possible position to heal the planet Earth. So if we heal Earth, the vibration change. So the Earth spirit was conjured to sleep. And basically they hypnotized the Earth to put her in a suspended animation. And this was some galactic sorcery mixed with science and some dirtbaggery going on. But anyway, it happened. We need to reawaken the earth in its totality. She's in labor right now. You watch the Schumann resonance, and it's starting to pump. The Schumann resonance has got to switch to the Shu Tefnut. If you don't know your history, you got to go back to your Egyptian science, and you can understand who Men was, who Shu was, and who Tefnut was, and you will understand the confusion in this dynamic. It's a double masculine grid, which is a patriarchal grid, but in order for it to remain a patriarchal grid, it is heavily reliant on the subjugation of women. Oh, Ambria, you on point, sister. What the fuck they think we gonna do? We gonna sit here and we gonna unravel this shit in their face is what we gonna do. And they can keep talking that bullshit. And there's people spooked by the door scenarios in every fucking organization. Now, they're using these intermittent police shootings. Nobody's doing the mathematics, right? For every black person shot by the police, about 10 white people shot, about 2 or 3 Hispanics are shot. But they keep these police shootings of black people posted in the goddamn media so they can fuck up your thinking process. That's all it is. It's a fuck your thinking up. Don't let them ruin your thinking. You can think for yourself, and you don't have to fall for the scare tactic, right? So what do you do becomes the imperative question. What do you do is you say, I'm not going to be a reactionary. I'm going to find a solution to the problem. So this is where we at. You can get mad and tear shit up. We done that. It didn't get us anywhere. It didn't get us anywhere. We made no progress tearing shit up. Watts, 67, 71, 91. And, you know, we can keep going into that shit all the way back into fucking Denmark Vesey and Gabriel Prosser and all that. It didn't get us anywhere. What is the only thing that the system ever feared that people that look like us would ever use to break free? It's only one thing they ever feared, and that's the voodoo. Well, shit. Why are we running from that shit? If this is the only thing the oppressor fear, they don't fear us coming at them with guns. They don't fear us throwing grenades in their houses, setting their shit on fire. They don't fear none of that. They ready for that, and that's what they hope we do. Fuck the bullshit. I'm using voodoo. I'm using the shit the oppressor don't want us to use because that's the shit they scared of. Just like you scared of them shooting niggas down in the street without aim or direction or purpose. They scared of voodoo. They scared of the hoodoo, the African conjure, the knockaround game, the shit they fear the most. I'm using that motherfucking shit. Witch doctor on deck. Understand what I'm telling you? Don't never run to what your oppressor tell you is the door to freedom, because it's only going to be another door to a deeper oppression. Run to the shit he tell you to run from. He don't want us conjuring. What happened when they conjured in Haiti? They got fucking liberated from the oppression of, they don't tell you Toussaint Louverture and the Haitian generals was the only motherfuckers to ever defeat Napoleon in battle. They don't tell you that shit. They don't tell you that. They don't want you to know that conjure shit, the African way, the African spirit science, the ancient deep dark magic, the calling forth the powers of the noon and tying it to the powers of the earth will make them motherfuckers piss in their pants in front of you if they think you a real witch doctor. They don't want no parts of that shit there. So why are we running from it? We wasn't Christians, we wasn't Buddhists, we wasn't Jains, we wasn't Zionists, we wasn't none of that shit. So why are we running from what we are and what we were in order to become what they want us to be? It doesn't make sense. So that flawed logic I'm not using. I'm the witch doctor, I'm using voodoo, and I'm finna break us the fuck free. But voodoo comes with a practical application called science. Science is the physical application of the spiritual conjure. So we have certain stuff we have to do in the physical to match what has been done with the conjure. We didn't conjure these motherfuckers out of here now. It's just got to start tying these ends together. We got to start sitting the matriarchs with all of the clans down to start organizing the earth cleansing process. The women know what I'm talking about better than the men, but the men need to know this. When you see them sisters congregating with that white on, and you see any man, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, or otherwise, if they fly out the sky, get his ass out their circle, unless you want to stay slave. Get that no masculine energy in that circle. They got to wake Earth back up. And they're not going to wake Earth up if you bitch ass niggas sit on your hands. Now, you don't have to go around looking for drama. You just got to make sure them sisters can proceed uninterrupted. They can do their work. They can lay this conjure down like only the women can do, because they the ones created this shit. They the ones created the concept of balancing shit out, and that's why Mott is a female. She is the creator of balance, and the most balanced motherfucker that ever existed. So she becomes personification of balance in nature, Mott. So we know nature is the netter, them the gods. So if Mott is the personification of balanced nature, she's the personification of the balancing of the gods. Gods can't be balanced in an imbalanced environment. So what do? They get together, the ones who have the first right to the earth right, and they call forth Mother Earth